it's not recording.
Oops.
Now it's recording, yeah. I think it was full when it stopped. All right, but anyway,
Okay,
yeah.
quasi-statistics on the readership for the particular?
Yeah, sure. So there's a book. Is it digital now? So there's Writer's Market, first novel and short story, and that'll have some stuff in there, but that's all self-reported. And then there's one put out by the Council of Little Magazines and Small Presses. It's like the directory of literary magazines, I think it's called. I haven't gotten that question in a while. Directory of Kitty. Okay, go phone. I think it's called Literary Magazines. And they have really good statistics in there. The big list of literary magazines and literary journals by New Pages. That might have it in there too. Yeah, so it's put up, if you go to the Council of Literary Magazines and Small Presses, the CLSM, whatever it's called, they'll either have a link to the book or they'll have information about that. But they did used to have that in the descriptions of the magazines, like, oh yes, we accept 1 out of 5,000 entries or whatever, yeah, submissions. That's not crazy. I mean, and that's the other thing, right? So it's just if you pick your favorite author who writes short stories and you look at that person's short story collection that came out from Holt Reinhardt or Knopf or wherever, some great publisher, and you look at where the different stories were published, maybe there was one in the New Yorker, and then there might have been one in Mid-Atlantic Review and one in Alaska Quarterly and one in Virginia Quarterly or something like that. They're not all in the biggest names you've ever heard of in their collection, right? Even though they're the great author that you love. It's just even for them, it's a bit of a dice roll, and as a writer, sometimes it's like, oh, I can't lose, and then you'll go a year or two where you can't win, and it's the same stories and the same magazines, and you're like, what? I sent out the same stories for almost 6-7 years maybe, and nobody takes anything. All of a sudden everybody wants it all, but and then last year I think everything I sent out got accepted, and this year it's been not so great. So it's like the same stuff. It's still me. I'm still making the magazines. So yeah, it's a bit of a crapshoot.
I thought it was in the back of this book. There's a list of magazines that publish short stories.
There's those, and there's also
which is far longer than I would ever have thought.
Yeah, and those are the ones they draw these from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So those magazines get to submit the 1 or 2 stories they think might get into this, and from that they cull this. And it's the same thing with what's it called? Not O. Henry. The O. Henry Prize too, probably. Pushcart. So everybody it used to be you had to be a member of the Council of Literary Magazines and Small Presses to submit to the Pushcart, and now I think it's a little even more open than that. But you have magazines can submit 2 names or whatever, and then they. I don't know when you get notified, because I've never been notified that I won. But you find out that you got nominated, I think, December 1st every year. And then you sit around and wait for something to happen. And it doesn't happen. 3-time nominee. My husband keeps going, 3rd time's the charm. We'll see. So, and then, so they have a list in the back of the pushcart as well. That's a nice list, the ones that you can assume are respected. There's a lot of small magazines out there. Definitely read, or at least look at them to get a sense of what they want. I even made that mistake this year. Okay, so who knows what a furry is? Okay, I know what a furry is, and yet the way the call was written, it didn't sound like that. So I sent a story that was about, cute little animals, and not about...
Oh my gosh.
And,
I don't know what.
It's people who are sexually aroused by people in big furry costumes. Like mascot-y type costumes. And so they get together and they wear those costumes together
That's sexually
Was
arousing.
that a weekly, that journal?
There's a whole community.
You better try it.
But it said something in there like furry, like it said something that didn't make it sound like that, and then I kind of went to the website and it didn't look like that, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna send this out. And then I looked at the publishing house that was connected to Literary Magazine was totally like, you know, had an S&M branch and had a furry branch, and there was some really sketchy stuff, and I went in, withdrew the piece and apologized, but. And one of the things you had to write in there was what does furry mean to you? In the cover letter, they wanted to know that. So that was a hint. And that's why I went back and looked, because that was kind of bugging me that I had to answer that question. But I wanted to get it in, and it went, you know, I had to go somewhere, and then where I was like out and about, I was like, I need to double check that one. So I mean, you definitely want to look at the magazine. You want to look at the kind of stuff they run, because you can easily make a mistake. You know, or like. And that's one of the reasons why. So Conversations and Connections coming up, and one of the best things about Conversation, I've talked about that already, right? Like 2 weeks ago, right? The literary conference, it's in Arlington, run by Barrel House and other people. Yeah.
May 12th, I think.
Yes, I agree. It's May 12th. So yeah. So one of the best things about that is you get these speed dating tickets, and you can go and meet with an editor, and you hand your story to them, and they make a decision. And you can see on their face, like you can look at them and say, you're not going to like my stuff. Or, you know, you're like, you're not even getting what I'm trying to do here. Or they do, you know. But you realize, well, some of the times I'm sending it out, these people aren't getting what I'm trying to do. And that's okay. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. So other questions about sending stories out? Because I haven't done the other stuff down here, and I need to run through
Yeah.
them quickly.
Even when you do it on submittable, do you do like a cover letter, or you basically just, I mean, if, you know,
It asks,
It'll
it's up
say-
to the magazine how they want to set up the submission, and they may ask for a cover letter.
or what do you,
Short and sweet.
yeah, okay.
Please accept my short story, blah, 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 for publication in your magazine. You know, if you want to put a line in there about who